Hello, everyone. I'm Steven Say. I'm a software engineer from the specialty printing group at Zebra. Today, we are going to talk about the cloud-based printing API. It's called Send File to Printer. This is a cloud-based label and receipt printing solution. It's a very simple, straight way to implement a printing application for your needs. So in this presentation, we'll cover what and how, and followed with a few minutes video to demonstrate how to print out from cloud. On the what part, we're going to talk about what is the send file to printer API, how does this API look like, what does the API do, and on the how part, we are going to go through the get started in raw printer and use this API in various scenarios. Okay, let's get started. So what is a send file to printer API? It's a RESTful API. So before we go down the detail, let's take a look at this diagram. So there are two parts on this diagram. On the center part is a Zebra Savannah cloud. All our printers, Link OS printers, are connected to the Savannah cloud through the web link or web sockets. So those connections are also secured and encrypted through the SSL TSL. On the right side, you will see Zebra data services. So when any app uses API, and it will interact with Zebra data services, and the data services will route the request through the Savannah cloud to the printers. So it's a RESTful API. The advantage of RESTful API is language agnostic. So you can use this API in any programming language. And also because it's cloud-based, so you can call this API from anywhere to any printers connect to the Zebra Savannah cloud. And the connection, as we said, is secured and encrypted. So you can rest for sure your communication to the printers are secured. One last thing about this API is unidirectional. So which means you can only send the file to the printer. You are not able to retrieve status or get any response back from the printers through this API. So now let's get into what this API can do. As we already said, it's agnostic. You can use this API from any programming language, right? So when you send the file to the printer, what the content in the file should be. So the content has to comply with ZPL format. So the content has to comply with the requirements specified in the ZPL programming language guide. So those contents are qualified, such as the ZPL format, and also the fonts, graphics, Wi-Fi certificates, and objects, etc. You can also send the configuration commands to the printers through this API, such as SGD, set, get, go, set and do. But as we said, it's one directional, so you cannot retrieve values or response back from printer. So you may not able to send the get command. So you can only send the set command and the do command to the printer. And those commands can also be in the JSON format. There is the limit of the size of the file is up to 10 megabytes, right? So as long as the size within the limit here, you can do that by calling this API. And of course, you can use this API from either mobile app, desktop app, or cloud app, web app, etc. And the requirements for the printers to use this API, this printer has to be a Link OS printers, because only Link OS printers has those web sockets implemented in their firmware. So only those printers have the capability to connect to the cloud through the WebLink WebSocket. So this is how the API look like. So on the first screenshot, that's a code snippet, that's from the curl. You can say there are two parameters that need to be included in the request header. It's like an API key and also the tenant ID number or tenant account number. when we say send a file, right, the file has to be part of the request. So that's why the request body has to be a multi-part form data. So the first part of the form data is a serial number. So you can say on the second screenshot. So the serial number, you can have as many serial numbers as you can in the request body. So in that means you can send this file content to multiple printers at the same time, or you can send the content to the same printer multiple times at the same time as well. If you use the same serial number of the printer repeatedly in the request body. So there is no limit on how many printers you want to send the file to in one API call. So that's an advantage. This API goes through the HTTPS post. So from the URL you can say that. So the API endpoint is HTTPS post. Okay, let's go to the next slide. How do we get started? You have to register as a developer from the developer.zebra.com web portal. And on the first screenshot, there is a register and login. If you haven't registered, you just click on register to go through the registration process. If you already registered as a user, you just click on the login. Once you logged into the developer portal and you go to the product tab, just right under the banner of the landing page and select the platform. So it will give you the drop down of 4 options. The last option is Zebra Data Services, because we said the API is offered through the Zebra Data Services. So you select that option. So that will give you the Data Services tab on your landing page, and you click on, you have 3 options. It's called plans, apps, and devices. So that's where you can get started. So first thing, you click on the plans. So that's where leads to a page where you can find all kinds of packages, APIs you could use through the Zebra Data Services. There are 2 of them related to the send file to printer APIs. One is send file to printer API free. That's a free package, which means you use it without cost. The other one is send file to printer PPC package. PPC means pay per call package. So you have to pay for the PPC package. So you can checkbox on both of them, or either one of them, depends on which one you need. For the free package, you can use it for free to make 100 API calls without a charge a day. Once you reach that limit, it will stop and until the next day. But with the PPC package, you just pay for each API call. The charge will go against your account balance. So we will go over there to show you how you can recharge or add more credits to your account. So the cost is just 1 penny per API call. It's still very low. But once you add those 2 packages in your account, and then you can verify whether it's being added successfully or not. So you go to My Account on the portal and click on the Purchase plan, and then you can see those 2 packages should be listed in your profile. On the very same page, if you navigate to the Purchase balance, so that tab, that will allows you to add more credits to your account. So we are not going to cover that here, but certainly on the second line of the highlighted box, so you can see that option just next to it. And this is where you check, make sure you have those packages included in your account, and how you can add more credits to your account as well. So now we need to create an app. So you have your package, we need to create an app. So app is like a pseudo name, allows you to get the API key, etc. So you can use that with this API. So same as the previously, so navigate to the plans, you just click on the second option, navigate to the apps. So that's where you can add the a new app to your account, and it will pop up this page. You just give your a descriptive name for the app. It doesn't have to be a true app name. So whatever you describe for the app, you can leave any other fields blank. And then you got to check mark on either one of those packages, either PPC or free package. Please note, we are not recommend you to check both packages at the same time, because if you do that, when you use this API in your application, each API call will incur the charge on both PPC and the free. So which means you get the deduct in your free allowance as well as the 1 penny charge in your PPC for each API call. So we only recommend you to check and mark one package at this moment. From here, you can say, in your account, you can add as many as apps as you want. So each app has its own unique API key. So you can use those API key for different applications for different purposes. So it's very convenient, it's very flexible. So you can add as many apps as you want. So once you finish it, you click on Add App. So it will bring up the summary page of the apps in your account. So that's where you can obtain the API key. For example, we already created an API. It's called DevTalk APAC. So you click on that app name, it will pop up a window and show you the API key. So the consumer key is the API key. So that's the key you used in your application. Okay, you get the API key. Now the next we need to register your printer with the Savannah Cloud. So the way to register the printer to the Savannah Cloud, we need to get the enrollment string. So we can also get this string from your portal. So you just choose the third option, which is devices, right? So there is a direct link you click on that goes to the My Device page. On the My Device page, and you click on Add Device button, and the Add Device button will pop up a new page, allows you to choose a printer because we want to add a printer, and then you click on the Get Enrollment String, this button. So that will return you a text string. So this is the string you need to send to your printer as it is. There are a few things I would like to mention. This is a JSON string. So there are 3 elements in this JSON string. The first element allows you to specify how many log entries you want for the web link log. So here we specify 500 for the web link log. The second entry is the connection string to the Savannah Cloud, which has a R value at the very end, which is highlighted. So that R value is the tenant ID. So that's the account ID or account number. So you retrieved from this get enrollment string button. So that is unique for your account. So no matter how many applications you may have in your developer account, you only have one tenant ID. So this tenant ID should be used across all applications for all printers you want to use. Okay, and also on this second element, you also see there is a connection weblink.ip.com1.location. So that value by default will return you with 1, and you can change that to 2. So what does that mean? This means in our Link OS printers, at a firmware level, we offer 2 connections, the CON1 and CON2, and either one of them behaves the exact same. So each printer, each Link OS printer can connect to different WebLink WebSockets. So you may have your own enterprise cloud. You use one connection connect to your cloud. You use another connection connected to Savannah Cloud. So that gives you flexibility. So it depends on whether your printers already use one of them or not. So you can change that to 1 or 2 So each printer has two WebLink WebSockets, allows you to connect to two different clouds. So that's the second element. The last element is to reset the printer, because once we send this string to the printer, we want the printer to take a reset in order to make the changes configuration into effect. Okay, let's go to the next page. How do we send those strings to the printer? There are a couple of ways. The recommended way is to use the printer setup utilities. We have setup utilities for Windows, as well as setup utility apps for Android and iOS. For Android and iOS, you would have to send this string as a file in your email or somewhere to your mobile device, right? And then you open the app, connect to the printer through the Bluetooth, and then send that a file to the printer through Bluetooth from the app. But if you use the setup utility for Windows, that's a very easiest way. You just plug in the USB to your computer through the to the printer, and open up the setup utility for Windows. You can download from our site as well. And you click on the printer you want to send this string to, and click on open the connection. So that's where you copy paste this string on the upper part of the box and click on send. So that will send this string to the printer and then reset the printer at the same time. You can also use the Zebra Designer driver. So you simply type in the printers and the scanners from the startup box on your Windows, and choose the printer you want to send this string to, and click on manage. That will pop up a dialog box, allows you to navigate to the place where you can find this file which contains this string on your desktop. So you can click on send that to your printer. So that's another way. So once you send this configuration string to the printer will take the reset, and we need to make sure the printer comes back and is able to connect to the cloud. So you still need to check whether the printer is connected to the cloud or not, right? So there is one way to do that is through the setup utility for Windows. You open up the same application and click on the open a connection window. So that will give you this dialog box on the top. You type in the ban space U1 space get var web link, and send that to the printer. It will dump out all the web link logs. Within the web link log, you would like to search for something like com.1 or com1.1 or com1. something or com2. something. So it depends on which web link you use, right? To make sure you have that highlighted box, text showing up in your log that indicates whether this connection is successful or not. If for any reason, if not successful, you need to make sure that you don't have a typo in the connection string, or you don't, or the real-time clock on the printer is up to date. Because sometimes if you powered off the printer, which is not powered by battery, not powered by the RTC, the clock may reset back to the time and the date where when the firmware was built, so which could be out of the window of the certificate, because the SSL, TSL will use the real time on the printer to verify, to validate the certificate. So if the time is too outdated, you will not be able to connect to the WebSocket. So check typo, check the clock on the printer. So those are the two common causes. And then there is a third way to verify whether the printer is connected to the cloud or not. You can go to My Device page. So that's where, you would say if this is the first time you connect a printer to the Savannah Cloud in your account with your tenant ID, you should be able to say the serial number of the printer is listed under My Device page. So that's all setup steps for before we start to use this API. So you have the printer, you have the API key created successfully. You installed the printer into Savannah Cloud. So now we need to test it out, whether the printer can receive this the file you want to send to this printer through this API. So there are a few ways to test. The first way, you can go to the API portal. We have a widget allows you to quickly just copy paste your API key, your printer serial number, and they point to the file which you want to send to the printer, and exercise from there, and to make sure you can call this API successfully. Another way to do that is through a third-party application, such as the Postman. You can do that in the Postman as well. Or you could just open up a command window on your PC to copy paste the curl command, replace the API with yours, and also the tenant ID with your ID, etc. And to do that through the curl. So once you are verified, you are able to send this send the files through this API to the printer. Then you can start to create your application. So there are, in order to make it convenient for you, we create a few convenient classes for Java and C#. So if you are going to, create a Java application to utilize this API, you can take advantage of this Zebra SFTP MP body publisher.java class, which is downloadable from the GitHub. So that simplifies the way to use this API. So this code snippet shows the flow, how to use this API. So you define the URL, you define the printer serial number and the API key tenant ID, etc. And also you define the path to the file you want to send to. And then you make use of this Zebra SFTP MP body publisher.java and create an object fresh from it. We give the name like a publisher for this object. We just add the serial number. You can add as many serial number as you can. You can repeat the same serial number as you want, and then set the file path to the publisher, right? And then you create a HTTP request, and in the request you specify the URL, the header, API key, tenant ID, and also the content type. Content type has to be a multi-part form data with a boundary. The boundary is auto-generated from this convenient class. You simply call the publisher.getBoundary. So that will allows you to create this request seamlessly, so you don't have to worry about anything else. And then use the HTTP client to send this request to the Savannah, to the Zebra data services. If you are using the C# for your C# application, we have a similar class named the same. It's called Zebra SFTP MP body publisher .cs. So which means C# class. So it follow the same logic as you have seen in the Java. So you specify the URL, API key, tenant ID, serial number, and also the path to the file you want to send. And in your HTTP client, you add a header with the API key and the tenant ID, and then you create a object out of this publisher. The publisher return a form data object, and same as the serial number, and also they specify the ZPL path in this on this object, and then send this request through the HTTP client. If your application is JavaScript, there is the code snippets from our demo print from the cloud, which we will show later. So that's the source code is there. This is the code snippets, how to use Java, how to use JavaScript for this API. follow the same logical, but it's much simpler. You don't need any convenient class for the JavaScript. It's quite straightforward. One thing I would like to mention, if you prefer to write your own multi-part body publisher, or you want to use a third-party API to do that for you, you have to keep in mind the final request body has to comply with the format that is acceptable by the Zebra data services server. So this is a snippet of the multi-part body formats that is required. All the application uses API has to comply with this format, such as the double quotes around those values. You would have to have a double quotes around the SN, and you cannot have any other headers in each part. So any additional header in each part will be considered as an error, cause internal parser throughout an exception. So you have to make sure if you write your own or use a third-party API for the body publisher, the final results has to comply with this format. We have seen issues with people using some other tool to generate the request and hitting into various difficulties. So that's the reason we created this Java convenient class as well as C# convenient class for your use. This page is a list of all the resources we used for this presentation, and you can see the direct link and the soft link as well. You can click on to get to the resource you want, and also you can download those convenient Java classes from the Java classes and also the C# class from the GitHub. So finally, we would like to run a demo. So this is a JavaScript-based demo. So you download from our GitHub and put it on your local PC or local HTTP server, like Apache server. Just click on the link, open up a browser, and start to run. So this demo contains 3 sub-demos. So print just simply send a file to the printer. And then second demo is to like template-based printing a name badge. The third example is a receipt printing. So as if you go to a store and purchase something, so you want to print a receipt. So let's show the demo. So this is, sorry, double click. Okay, let's run. Okay, let's run the demo. Okay, so this is where you of course you need to replace with your API key and the tenant ID. So that's where you start navigate to the place where you can find we use hello world.txt that comes with this demo as well. And you click on send to the printer. And we don't have a video camera to capture the printer. But if you turn on your volume, you would be able to hear the printer reacts. So now we add a second printer. We want to print out a name badge. So now we navigate to the place we have this demo name badge. We just put a name and also the company and click on send to the printer. So that will print out the badge from out of 2 printers at the same time. So you will see the response. And for the receipt, we do the same. We click on the third demo, and we choose a template for the receipt. So we navigate to the receipt folder, click on the receipt.prn file, and that's where you can add more items and the price, etc., and add the total at the end, and send that to the printer. It will print out the receipt for you. So this is a complete demo. You download it, you can see what the true output look like. Okay, that concludes our talk today. And if you have questions, you can reach out through this social or channel as well as the developer portal to communicate with us. Or if you want to get to the live QA, you can join us through a separate channel in this conference. Thank you.